So I grew up poor. I didn't really know any rich people. I had no extended family that were rich. I didn't have friends of friends that were rich and wealthy. I just didn't have any sort of exposure to that sort of thing. Because of that, I have very much grown up with a mindset of like a poor person mindset, really, a scarcity mindset, something that has taken me over 10 years to move away from, and I'm still trying to move away from it. And it's not easy because every concept that you learn as a child and a teenager now needs to be completely changed. It's just completely flipped. However, along my personal journey, I have met quite a few rich people now, and I've achieved sort of my own version of what I think is rich. And I've noticed that many rich and wealthy people say things that don't really necessarily mean what you think. Working hard. So they always say that they worked hard to get to where they are, when in reality, it's not actually that they worked hard, it's what they've been working on. Lots of people work hard, lots of people work tons of hours, but working hard doesn't necessarily mean you'll earn lots of money and become rich. What it really means is working hard on the right thing. And I'd say that's actually the hardest part of it all, figuring that thing out. It's something that I've learned firsthand. I'd say when I first started trying to make money online and sort of just finding myself, you could say, in my late teens, early 20s, I was working really hard. Like I was working long hours, long days, just trying to figure out how to make money. But then I realized a few years in that I was just simply working on the wrong thing. I needed to work on the right thing. Now, what is the right thing? I honestly couldn't tell you. Everyone's right thing is going to differ from person to person. Like there isn't one right thing that everyone should be doing. That's something that you've just got to figure out. And I guess you could say that working hard, trying lots of different things and just figuring that out is part of the process. That's where the working hard part is, because once you figure that out, you don't really actually have to work that hard. I personally do not work hard. I work maybe 3, 4, 5 hours a day, if that. And some days, if I don't feel like working, I just won't work. But I'm in a position where I can do that. Not everyone else can do the same. And that's something that I've noticed with a lot of other rich and wealthy people. They figured out what actually is worth working hard on. Saving money doesn't make you rich. So this is something that has completely had to flip in my brain, that I really struggled with at the beginning, and I just couldn't understand how it worked. Because I was taught and brought up in a way where you had to save as much as you possibly could so that you could enjoy it later on in life, so that you had a nest egg, so that you had a retirement fund, all these different things. But I've realized it's completely the opposite. It's completely the wrong way to look at things, because the aim shouldn't be to save as much money as you can. The aim should be to increase your income, because there's only so much money you can save. There's a limit to how much you can save, but how much you can earn is technically limitless. You know, you can earn as much money as possible. You can earn tons of money. There isn't really a limit to that. But with saving, if you're earning $50,000 a year and you have to spend $25,000 on rent, and you have to spend other money on sort of expenses and living and stuff like that, there's only so much you can really save. It doesn't really make sense to try and save every single penny that you can, trying to penny pinch and stuff. I've realized that switching your brain into thinking, okay, can this help me make more money? I need to figure out how to make more money. I need to invest in myself. I need to invest in things. What can I do to increase my income? Because there really is no limit to that. I'm not going to lie, I think this one was one of the toughest ones for me, because it really just went against everything that I learned, everything that I was taught, and I still struggle with it now. I still think to myself, oh, I don't want to spend this money, I don't want to spend that money, even though if I think it through properly, spending that money could either save me time or make me more money. Like that's just what I've realized I need to understand and figure out. Now, this is something that many rich people will not really admit, but there is an immense amount of luck involved. And when I mean luck, I don't mean luck in the sense of like winning the lottery. I mean lucky to be born in a specific time, specific era, lucky to be born in a specific country, lucky to speak a specific language, lucky to be from a specific family. All of these things are just complete luck. These aren't things you have control over. But that doesn't mean it has to stay that way. That doesn't mean you just have to put up with the unlucky cards that you've been drawn. I really do think I think this is just for anyone who's had any sort of success in their life. They go against the odds, they go against the grain, they do something that can change their life. And this is where I believe that a lot of successful people, they make their own luck. I really do believe that you can make your own luck, because I feel like I'm the best example of that. I make my own luck every day by posting videos, by talking to people, by sharing content, by making products and so on. I'm increasing my surface area of the amount of things that can happen, the amount of things that I can make happen and the amount of things, opportunities that can come my way. I'm not just sitting idle hoping money comes my way, because that's not how it works. I'm trying to make it happen. And that's something a lot of successful people do. They try and make it happen. So I used to think that one of the best ways to become rich, to become successful, to become wealthy is to buy property. But from speaking to and meeting a lot of wealthy people, a lot of rich people, I've realized that most of them have rarely ever become rich from buying property. Most truly rich people are rich from businesses and investments. One of the best and worst things I did was buy a house. Buying a house did give me a lot of stability. I would recommend it if that's what you're looking for, if that's what you're after. But man, if I had invested that money instead into businesses, into the stock market, into myself, I know I would have a lot more money now, even after taking into account how much I would have to pay in rent. If you're buying a house for you yourself to live in, it shouldn't really be seen as an investment. It shouldn't really be seen as something that's gonna make you wealthy or rich, because it's just not going to. That's not how it works, I don't think, because you still have to pay for that house, and the only way to actually get money out of it is by selling it, but you're living in it, so you can't really sell it. So I really do think this whole concept of buying a house, it's become a bit more old-fashioned. I actually don't see myself buying a house until I retire, really, or until I realize that, oh, actually I want to settle down somewhere specifically. I actually plan to rent for as long as I possibly can. My dream is to hopefully build my own house, and I think once I get to that stage, that's when I'll buy my own sort of land, house, whatever it is. But for now, financially, what makes the most sense for me is investing in my businesses and investing in stocks and shares. That's where I'm going to make a lot more money than buying a house. Most successful people see the world completely differently from you and I. They see value in things that others just might not see the value in. I am actually another good example of this. Wallpapers for your computer or for your phone have been something you can get for free since their inception, basically. I used to be one of those people that used to think, who in the world would pay for wallpapers? Like, that doesn't make any sense to me. But then, as an experiment a few years ago, I started selling my own wallpaper packs. And then my mindset had shifted from, oh, you can get this for free, to, oh wait, I spent time making something valuable to me, maybe others will see the value in them as well. And lo and behold, others did see the value. The packs that I put together, I like to think are well designed and curated instead of just being one random wallpaper. I have collections with different colors, different styles. This is what people are happy to pay for. And I've been making, it's crazy to think, I've been making hundreds of thousands of dollars from them, millions of dollars from them. And my mindset has just completely changed. I realized that the aim is to transform something, a product or a service, into something that others can see the value in, that you can see the value in. Not everyone is going to. Not everyone is going to see the value in it. Not everyone is going to spend money, and that's okay, because the aim for me isn't trying to sell a wallpaper pack to anyone and everyone. My aim is to sell the wallpaper pack to people who see the value in them, to the people who want something unique looking, something that looks great on their computer, on their phone, whatever it might be. And you can apply this concept to pretty much anything and everything. Successful people do not sell their time. They don't rent their time. They don't sell their time. Every single high earner that I know does not earn money based on selling their time. They specifically do things that aren't tied to how much time they put in. They do things that are scalable. Selling your time is not scalable. It's actually the complete opposite, because you only have so much of it. You don't have an unlimited amount of time. Time is the most valuable thing. And I've noticed a lot of rich and successful people, they realize that the value and return is more important than the time spent. This is where products and services and software and things like that really come into play, and you can make money regardless of how much time you put in. This is something that I learned when I started selling Tumblr templates over a decade ago now. I realized that, hey, the amount of time I put into making a Tumblr template, that is scalable in some way. You know, I could spend a day making a template, but it can make like $10,000, $30,000, whatever it might be, in a month. That really skewed my concept of, wait, why would I sell my time for like $50 an hour, $100 an hour, whatever it might be, when I could spend less time making something and then selling it to more people, and it kind of just keeps on selling. I've been doing that with my presets. I've been doing that with my wallpapers on my store. I've been trying to figure out ways how to make money without it being directly tied to my time. This is also why I do YouTube, why I do social media, why I do content, things like that. Because I've said this before, but I could make a video today and it could be viewed by 10,000 people. I could put in the same amount of time making a video in a year's time and it could be viewed by 100,000 people, but my time input hasn't changed. It's just simply scaled. And scalability is one of the most powerful things you can learn when it comes to being successful. Money doesn't make you happy, which is just utter bullshit. Like, I just think this is utter nonsense, because I really do believe that money can make you happy, especially if you're someone who has not had any money before, who has grown up without any money like I have. It can completely change your life. The difference is that it won't fix your relationships, it won't fix your sort of mental psychology, your friendships or anything like that. But money can literally solve every other money related issue in your life, which itself can have impact on relationships and other parts of your life. What I've noticed is that once people get rich and they've solved all of their money related unhappiness, they then hyper focus on things that can't be fixed with money, because obviously they don't have to worry about all the other issues in life, and they let that mentally sort of take over themselves. It's why they say that money doesn't make you happy. I found that the best way around this for me personally is to think about all the issues that I've solved because of money. And boy, does that make me happier, because I realized, man, if I didn't have money, I would be so unhappy. I would have so many issues. I would struggle with so many different things. So I've learned to appreciate and be grateful for all the things that I have solved in my life because of money. And this is where I think a lot of people really do struggle, because like I said, if they've grown up with money, if they've grown up comfortable, if they've not had to worry about money troubles, it's really hard to understand what it might be like when you do have money troubles, when you don't have anything, when you're really struggling to figure out, how am I going to make an income? No one can take care of me. No one can pay my bills. No one's coming to save me. I think a lot of people do fall into the trap of, oh, my parents will come and save me. Unfortunately, I do not have that. Like, I don't have that luxury, and a lot of other people don't as well. So you have to make it work. And this is where money can really solve a lot of issues. So this idea that money doesn't make you happy, absolute utter nonsense. I really do think money can make you happy. People are just using it in the wrong way. If you are interested, make sure to check out another video I did where I made $50,000 on wallpaper packs, which is just ridiculous, really. I have a bunch of other videos on my channel as well, just going into sort of making money online and how I am where I am, basically. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter and subscribe for more.